everyone, it's Joanna from JMP Art Studio. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite books by Dr. Gary Chapman, which is The 5 Love Languages. Now, love languages only means that it is the kind of love that we speak or we do or we expect from the people or from the person that we love. So it is the receiving and the giving of love. Now, there are 5 love languages and let's go and discuss them. So the first one is words of affirmation. So if your love language is words of affirmation, then you expect your partner or you want your partner to give you words of affirmation like, you're so beautiful, I love you, you're so amazing, I am so happy to have you in my life, and things like that. So if your words of affirmation is that is what you expect and that is what you give, then on the sad side of that, if you are unable to hear your partner saying those things to you, you're going to feel disappointed, you're going to feel sad. Okay, so it's totally normal. If you're going to ask me for my personal opinion, if you're in a relationship, words of affirmation should always be remembered. You know, we don't necessarily have to say I love you almost every single day, every minute of every hour. It's impossible. Maybe on the first months it's possible, but eventually you're gonna get busy and you're not gonna be able to do that, and that's totally okay. But remember that whenever we give words of affirmation, even if it's not just for our partner, even if it's not just for our boyfriend or our fiancé or husband or anything like that, we also have to practice words of affirmation for our friends, our family, our parents, for the people that matter, because words are so powerful. It can make or break someone. So if someone is having a bad day, if someone is sad and lonely, and if you're able to tell them something that made them happy, then maybe we should do it. So again, words of affirmation is the first love language. So remember that saying something good is always gonna affect that person and make that person feel good. So if it's a good feeling, if it's a good thing, then why not say it? But if it's a bad thing, maybe you have to think it's like 100 times before saying it, because like what I've said, words can make or break someone. So if you already mentioned or say something, you might forget it eventually, like, really, I said that to you? But that person that you told that statement to will never forget that. So remember, words are so powerful. Number 2 is we have that kind of language, which is quality time. Of course, everybody in a relationship has to have that quality time together, because if you're not together spending quality time, then what is the relationship for? Now, there are a lot of couples that we see that is together, but they are not really talking to each other because they are looking at their mobile phone. And that is the truth, because our attention is under attack because of the technology. Yes, technology can help us, but also it could also distract us from the things that really matter, which is having some quality time. So if that person is always busy at work or doing the things that just occupies that person's life, then that person, if you are in a relationship, you have to make sure that you give your partner the time that person needs, because it's very important that you spend some moments that you're really together and you're not distracted by other things. Like, you are not being distracted by any attention grabbers like TV or mobile phones. And if you're eating out, if you're having dinner, then you focus on the things that you eat and then you talk to each other, because having quality time matters. So on the sad side, if you're unable to provide the quality time that person requires or that person needs, then you might have a very broken or unsteady kind of a relationship, and maybe it won't work. Third is, of course, it's one of the most debatable or most talked about, for my opinion, talked about love language, which is giving of gifts. Now, don't mistake this kind of love language as being materialistic, or someone who speaks this kind of love language doesn't mean that person is looking for, asking for the monetary value of that certain gift. That person only likes or wants to receive gifts from you that has its value, or Gary Chapman calls this the gift of love, because even if it's just a piece of a rose, one rose, give you one rose, or a bouquet is a little bit much, but one rose with a little bit of card that you handwritten yourself is already a gift of love. So anniversaries, monthsaries, or birthdays, or any occasion is important to that person. So if ever you forgot about it, so you should expect that there is going to be misunderstanding or anything like that. So if your love language is receiving of gifts, then you expect gifts on occasions that that is occurring, birthdays, anniversaries, or anything like that. But you're not asking for the monetary value, but rather you want a gift that is from the bottom of their heart, something that they spend time looking for, or something that they did themselves, something that they something that is handmade. Like my other example last time is I gave my fiance a portrait, so I did it myself, I hand drawn it. So if you think about it, the thought is already there, because you thought about that person while you're doing that, and it means a lot. And next is acts of service or act of love. So it doesn't mean that you're gonna be doing some services to the person, like working for that person. It only means that whenever your partner or anyone that you love is having a hard time doing the dishes, washing the clothes, you have the initiative to help that person. You don't wait for that person to say that, can you please help me, can you do this for me? You do it on your own. You do it because you love that person. If that person is carrying a big bag and it's so heavy, you take the initiative to help that person. So, or just like for me, the best example for me is an act of love is my father, because ever since I was young, like I was in elementary, my father would fetch me and drive me to school, and up until now while I'm working, he would fetch me and drive me to work. And I am so thankful for having such an amazing father. I never heard him complain, and I think that is the best example of acts of service. It is a genuine act of love, because maybe I was thinking that if another person would do it, maybe that person would be complaining like, you're already a grown woman, why would I drive you to work and fetch you? So I'm just so amazed with this kind of love language. Last but not the least is physical touch. Now, in every relationship, it's very important that you express yourself through hugging, through holding your hands, because some people is asking or is expecting this kind of love language. So remember, whatever love language that you give or you receive, you have to be self-aware of what you want. And of course, you also have to be aware what your partner is capable of. If you expect that person to express words of affirmation and he or she is not used to it, then you cannot force that person to do so, because that person is a different person with a different experience in life, with a different perception, and you cannot force that person. But if you really love that person, that you will be able to understand and try to live with that kind of setup. And maybe if you have the time and the courage, you try to discuss to that person what do you want and what do you expect from the relationship. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much. Bye.